guys, welcome to Thermomix Adventures. Lisa here. Hey look, today I'm going to show you these twice cooked biscuits, or I think they call them toast on cookie dough. If you buy gourmet crackers at the moment to go with your cheese and dip, this is your homemade version of it. It is amazing and it is so easy to make in advance and have ready for later. And I'm going to talk you through this in a minute as to how I've got to this step. But before I do, welcome if you are new here. My name is Lisa. I am a Thermomix consultant and team leader for Thermomix in Australia, and I love showing up for you guys with my sole purpose to help you get more out of your Thermomix, okay? So if you are brand new, welcome. Do head over to my website. There's a QR code over there, or otherwise type in TMXing Adventures onto Google or whatever like that, and I will come up, okay? You can check my website over there. I've got lots of free resources to help you get more out of your Thermomix. If you're wondering what a Thermomix is because you are brand new to the world of Thermomix, then just check out videos. I try and do a couple a week. This week's been a bit different. Those of you, you've probably noticed, I've had a few messages. Lisa, where are you? Is everything okay? Thank you to those of you who have reached out and care. It's just been a busy week. We've had the announcement of a bowl offer when buying a TM6. This is for Australia, okay? If you are watching overseas, welcome. I love that I can help you get the most out of your Thermomix. But I can't sell to you overseas if you want to get a Thermomix. So only Australians. But yeah, if you're looking at getting a TM6 model Thermomix at the moment, it's coming with a spare bowl set for $49. Normally $395. A fantastic offer. It's the deal, the top deal, right? If you've got our classic TM31 still, and I know there's some of you guys watching who do, you can actually trade that in at the moment and you get a $250 discount off the TM6 and you get a second bowl for free. So there's two really good offers that have just kicked off, and it's keeping me a little busy, which is good. I've had demos and both face-to-face and online demos. I've been creating resources because I do have a team that I mentor and walk alongside in our consultancy business. There's a whole lot of resources I've put together for them. I've tried to get a newsletter out to you guys. So it's just been really busy. So I do apologize this week. This is the first video this week, and that's not my normal. You guys know that. But just hang in there. I promise, I'm all okay. It has been crazy as well. Hubby's on leave for 4 weeks. He's got some annual leave, actually long service leave he's taking. And so, yeah, just changes of routines have made it a little challenging to get on. Do say hi if you're watching on though, because it tells Facebook or YouTube on the replay that you want to see this when it comes up. If you don't engage, the platforms don't know and eventually they take them off. So they'll take them off your newsfeed. So today though, let's talk about twice baked toast, fruit toast, okay? Now they are the equivalent of those fancy crackers you buy. They're usually in a box, they're those thicker style crackers. And the great thing about these is, as I said, you can make them in advance and we make them gluten free, okay? So don't let the ingredients in this recipe stop you making it, okay? Let me go through this recipe, let me tell you the changes we make so that you can do it at home with confidence and ease, and then I'll talk to you about where I'm up to on this recipe. So let's go to my week. I do love, okay, I'm just going to, if you're watching on with a TM31 or even a TM5, there's no offer for TM5s, but I just want to point out some differences in the TM6. I've been doing this since TM31 days. I started as a consultant 10 and a bit years ago with our TM31. So I've been through the progressions, okay, of different Thermomixes. This is the machine that gets used significantly more than any other model I've ever had, because of this guided recipe function. Now I could use a TM31, I could close my eyes and use a TM31, but no one else in my family could, because you had to understand that process of time, temperature, speed. You had to have a cookbook. Bringing this guided functionality and this organization and this planning that comes through the guided recipes, my entire family cook, okay? And that's also part of why I haven't come to you hugely much this week, is because they've been cooking. Today's actually one of the boys' days. But yesterday's guy made these, so there's kind of this share over, which is super cool. And that's something that I really appreciate and I'm grateful for in the TM6 is guided cooking and planning, so that you can be organized. Because how often do we feel overwhelmed and out of control and we reach for the jar or we go through the drive-through, and if we've got a Thermomix we don't have to, because we can turn basic ingredients. So tonight, for example, that the I'm just thinking how old he is, the 9-year-old. It's his night tonight. He will be making creamy pasta salami fettuccine, creamy tomato pasta salami fettuccine, right? And it is onion, it is garlic, it is a tin of tomatoes. It does have carrot and zucchini if you want. We've gone through phases of putting it in and not, depends what we've got. And then it has water and veggie stock, and you boil it, you add your pasta. If you want to add the creaminess to it, you can. We've also eaten it without. It does say salami. We don't do that. Sometimes we do bacon bits. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we do leftover roast meat. Sometimes we don't. It also says gluten-free. No, not gluten-free. It says pasta, fettuccine, the long stuff. We just use gluten-free spirals. So he can do that. He follows the instructions. It tells him what to do. And he can find success. And that's the beautiful thing about the TM6, is not just me cooking for my family of 6 of us. They have responsibility in it and can do it with ease and confidence. So it's pretty cool. And you can hence see, look at this. I haven't even looked at the screen, but look at what they've cooked today. They had a beautiful up and go smoothie. They've had, no, we haven't done gingerbread biscuits. He was actually going to do them for afternoon tea, but he's not going to now. Brazilian cheese puffs. We turned them into wraps for lunch. So that's actually what they were. The fritters, there it goes. They were going to be dinner. We don't have enough eggs at the moment. The chickens aren't keeping up. Coffee and date muffins, he made them this morning. We gave some to the neighbours that were around as well. And then you can see twice baked fruit toast, which is where we're at today. So guided cooking, it's so amazing. And it does, I won't kid you, it takes some time to learn new habits. Okay, it really does. That's our neural pathways are quite comfortable in, doing what we've always done, even if it might not serve us well. But once you get it, it is a game changer for you and your family, okay, if you're cooking for not just yourself. So, twice baked cookies. Now we go start cooking, and I'm going to talk you through this because it's a 180-degree oven, that's fine. Grease a large loaf tin. Now, the remainder of this batch was made in a silicone bread loaf tin. Okay, it is eaten. As I said, one of the other guys made this through the week. It got sliced up, served with dip that day, and this is the leftovers. So the silicone tin from the mix shop, and this is the other silicone little mini loaf tray from the mix shop. You can find them there. They're great. Okay, so that loaf tin will take 3/4 of the mix, and the leftovers comes here. Now it says 90 grams of blanched hazelnuts. We never use them. We will use cashews, almonds, sunflower seeds, pepitas, 90 grams, whatever you've got. Okay, so don't feel like it's got to be hazelnuts. They're expensive. I'm not going to buy them unless it's a special occasion. Okay, I'll with the measuring cup and I don't blanch them, and then whatever you've got in there, you're milling down, and it says 2 seconds on speed 7. So it's actually not a mill; it's more like a chop. And then, by the way, the kids cooked this. So that's actually why I'm reading the instructions and I didn't know that it was not a mill but a chop, because they were the ones doing it. How cool is that? 120 grams of wholemeal flour. Now, this is sometimes, and the reason I didn't make this for so long is I didn't have wholemeal flour. But don't feel like that's going to stop you. Okay, hello Sue, thanks for saying hi. Just swap it. So wholemeal flour, we just use gluten-free plain. If you're not gluten-free, just use plain flour. Don't feel like you have to do wholemeal if you don't have wholemeal. Wholemeal is sometimes more expensive. Don't put it in a trolley, just use plain flour, okay? 120 grams of plain flour. Self-explanatory. I use gluten-free, you just use your plain flour, okay? So 240 grams of flour, that's all it is. You got your bicarb of soda, please do use that. That lets it grow, okay, when it cooks. Half a teaspoon of salt, don't skimp on that, it tastes funny otherwise. If you ever find your baking tastes floury, okay? Did you hear me do that? That funny feeling you get in your mouth when something's too floury? It's because you didn't put enough salt to cut through the flavour. Typically breads, when somebody first gets a Thermomix and they make their own breads and bread rolls, they'll say, Lisa, it doesn't taste like store-bought. There's 2 factors, salt and sugar. Store-bought has both. We typically don't include the sugar in our ones that we make here, but you certainly need the salt. It cuts through that. It disguises that flavour of the flour, okay? Insert the measuring cup, 10 seconds, speed 3, and it's mixing that together. Okay, the dry stuff's all coming together. Now add buttermilk. We have never, ever, ever added buttermilk. In plenty of times, more times than I can remember, we've made this recipe. We have used milk or almond milk, coconut milk, or actually watered down coconut cream, to be honest, because we don't buy coconut milk, we water it down or we make it ourselves. I have used whey because you guys know I make cheese ourselves regularly. If you want to check out how to make cheese and learn how to make cheese, check it out on my cheese course over there. And so when you make cheese, the byproduct is whey, so I will use whey. But buying buttermilk, please don't ever buy buttermilk. Okay? Do me the favor, save yourself the money, don't buy buttermilk. I've never bought it, don't buy it. You don't need to, okay? It's an easy swap. 60 grams of dark brown sugar. You guys know I barely ever have brown sugar. We will use usually half of that, and I'll skip it with whatever I've got. So if it's monk fruit because we're going the low carb version, put that in. If it's raw because that's what I've got, put that in. It does have honey, okay? So again, liquid sweetener, whatever that is. I don't change the quantity of that one because that's going to affect the bindingness of it later, okay? Now this year I told you I was going to tell you my thinking behind things so that you can get more confidence in the swaps and the substitutions. That's why. Does that make sense? So you can play with the powdery sugar in this recipe, but not the sticky part, because it's the part that sticky stuff, when it cooks in the oven, caramelizes, binds together. It's a binder, okay, with that bicarb then rising. Okay, so now it's going to come together 30 seconds on speed 3. So again, it's just mixing. Now here we go, here's some seeds, and this is where you can get creative. If you go pick up your packet at the supermarket, flip it over, there's going to be specific things that they put into theirs. So they might put in cranberries and pepitas. They might put in pecans and something else. Sultanas, okay? Flip over your favourite, read the back, go home and put it in, okay? So 65 grams of pumpkin seeds, 75 grams of medjool dates. We've often done it without the medjool dates because we've run out, because I just buy a whole lot of to go, and once they're gone until the next order a couple months later. So if you don't have them, just bump up your raisins, add sultanas, add cranberries, add dried apricots. Honestly, whatever you've got, all right? Raisins, which I would use sultanas because they're cheaper. Sour cherries. I've never done sour cherries, ever. I don't even know what they are, okay? So don't feel like you've got to go buy them. Orange zest. Never done it. Okay, do you get the idea? You get to play with it, okay? So you don't have to do exactly what they say. Now it's a reverse 20 seconds speed 3. So again, it's coming together. It's trying not to chop that. On that note, the big dates, it did say slice them. Okay, if you don't slice them, you'll end up with big chunks. It's not the end of the world, because when you get to this stage, now these don't have dates in them. My date order came in this morning, so I finally have dates, but these got made the other day. If you do end up with whole dates in it, when you slice this thinly in a minute, they'll just slice up. So it actually doesn't matter. So if you do stuff up, like I have plenty of times, and just chucked whole dates in, and then go, oh, they're still whole, it doesn't matter, okay? Finish mixing by hand, and then bake for 15 minutes to 1 hour at 180. Cover with the foil. I have never covered with foil. I just cook it. Now what you're going to come out with then is a really dense loaf of bread with this fruit toastiness to it. But it's not done. And this is where these come in. So ours is baked in the loaf tin, the leftovers is coming here, and this is where we pick up together. Okay, so I'd love to know in the comments if you've made this recipe. Honestly, this, I think if they relabeled it something fancy like gourmet fruit crackers, everyone would make it. It's the labeling that just goes fruit toast. What is fruit toast? Fruit toast to me sounds like raisin toast in Australia. I don't know about you, but anyway, here we go. I'm just getting these out. These are the leftovers. I've got a rose gold. This is the extra large with an oven mat that I'm going to use to put them on to go back in the oven. That's why they're called twice cooked. Because you cook it once, you put it in the fridge, and then put it in the freezer, okay, and then you get it out and slice it so that it is sliceable. Otherwise, it's going to fall apart in chunks as you try and slice it, okay? So you do need to allow that time to get it frozen to a certain extent, okay? You can, I've done it where I already put it in for an hour. It holds together enough then to slice it thinly. So you'll see here it says to, once cool, wrap it tightly in cling film. Never done that. I've actually always put the loaf in, like you just saw me, get it straight out of the container, okay? These are my shortcuts. Give it a go, tell me what you think. Then freeze for 30 minutes before slicing, or leave it in there for like a day like I have. Okay, now preheat the oven to 150 and line 2 large baking trays with baking paper. Okay, here we go. Slice thinly. This is where we're up to. So, now you can choose how you slice it. I mean, the ones we did in the loaf tin were like 5 times this height. They were more like, they were like that size by that size. Okay, whereas these ones are going to be little dippers. See that? Look at that. Let's see if I can show you. Perfect. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting them about that wide. Okay, and I'm just slicing them all up. These are mostly frozen still. They're not hard frozen. Like, you really don't want to get it straight out of the freezer if it's been in there an entire day and then try and cut it, because you just won't get your knife into it. Okay, you might cut your fingers because you are trying to cut thin as well. So you do want to make sure that you watch your fingers. So once you've got this all done, onto the tray. Let's see if I can show you up here. Onto the tray, and just literally, and they can touch each other. So don't feel annoyed or upset if they don't all fit. Put them touching each other. That's okay, all right? It doesn't matter in this recipe that they are all touching each other because it's already hard. In essence, we're dehydrating these to some extent, okay? This is the dehydration process. Oh, I can't get through this one. There we go. And that's what we're trying to do. Now, I'm trying to think why I can't get through this one. It's very frozen. I think it's just because it's smaller. There you go. I am using the awesome Thermomix knife from the toolkit. You can get yourself one of these from either the mix shop, it comes in a set, or from hosting a demo. Sorry, I was just checking out what the puppies were barking at. So it's been very busy around here. We've actually had a big machine up the back clearing a fire break. So we back onto bushland, and we've actually got a clearing behind us, but all the other properties up and down our street do not have a clearing. And so obviously the council was notified, or maybe they told the owners out the back, I'm not sure. There's no property, there's no house out the back, it's just bushland. So there's been big machines out there this morning. So that started at about 7 o'clock this morning. So it's been a little crazy today. So I'm just hoping that nobody's coming up the back and the puppies are barking at them. There are husbands and children out there, so hopefully they can take care of that. So this is literally all I need to do. I'm going to stand here and I'm going to slice up. You can see the beautiful raisins. Because we were all out of dates, they've used mostly sultanas and raisins in there. Just slice it all up. Then what happens is it goes into an oven. Now it says to go into the oven for 10 minutes at 150 degrees, then turn over. And then bake for a further 10 minutes at 150. Now, in my experience, and I don't know whether it's because it's gluten-free, I don't think it would be, I find I need longer. Okay, now every oven is different, so please keep an eye on it. I have had ones where I've burnt because I've tried to hurry this cook process up. Okay, I've put it on 180, cooked it for 5 minutes, and they're all charcoaly. They're still really tasty. Nobody didn't eat it. They were always eating a lot of them. Like, these are delicious, even with the cut down of the sugar. They are really tasty. And as I said, pick up your favourite typical one you pick up at the supermarket. Read what, fruit and nuts they put into it. Do the same. Okay? Give it a go. And of course, as I said, skip out that wholemeal flour and things like that so that it's more effective, or maybe just using more cost effective, or using what's in your pantry. All right? So have a go at that. Now, I'm going to continue to manhandle these. They are a bit frozen still, especially these small ones, and they would have been overcooked. The other thing I'm going to confess to you guys is in the oven, when we're doing the loaf, these sit on the shelf below, but they end up cooking the whole time as well. So they've cooked for an hour, and they're tiny. So some of them are a little overcooked, which is fine. As I said, no one here is going to complain. They will devour these without a second blink. So I'll finish cutting these. Thanks for watching on today. If there is anything I can do to support you with your Thermomix, do reach out. I'd love to hear from you. If you've got friends and family thinking on the Thermomix, please reach out and get yourself a referral link so that when they purchase, you get a $50 Mix Shop gift card to spend. Okay, I'd love to be able to honour you in that process and being the person who inspired them. Also, if you are thinking about how can I, inspire people, or you've got something inside of you that's like, oh, I really like sharing my Thermomix with people, come join the team. Join our big Thermomix family, okay? We are looking for more consultants in lots of different areas, okay? And the people that you influence will be so grateful that you showed them a Thermomix. So if you are considering it, if you've ever considered it, now is a great time at this time of year to join us with the bowl offers on and just leading into the end of financial year. Did I just say that? That is terrible that we're already talking about financial year. Somebody yesterday said Christmas and I was like, don't talk about Christmas. I'm not ready, we've just hit March. So yeah, if that's something that sparks a little bit of interest in you, reach out. I'll give you further information. And if you'd like to learn more, then you can jump on an information session and just see if it's going to fit with you. Like, it has been a game changer for us. And I love the journey it's been and how much I've learned about my Thermomix as well. You know, if it wasn't showing up with you guys on such a regular basis, there's so many of these recipes that I wouldn't do. I wouldn't be doing it for you. Like, I want to show up and do different things for you guys all the time, which obviously I do. So, and that's pretty cool. So you guys challenge me to do that. And I do love hearing from you. So don't ever feel like you shouldn't, get in touch. I don't mind answering your questions and troubleshooting, and I never want to see you waste ingredients. That's the other thing. You guys saw me flop at mousse the other day where the egg whites didn't beat, but there was still a way to put them to good use. I then put them with the egg yolks from the next batch, because I obviously whipped up new egg whites with a new bowl and clean butterfly. And then I put those yolks with the failed whites and turn it into lunch, zucchini slice, like no wastage, okay? But often people just tip them out, and that's what I want to avoid. I want to change the thinking around that and how we do our food. Anyway, that's it from me today. There's some amazing offers on. If you're not already a subscriber over on my website, go over there and subscribe. I know lots of you guys are. Don't need to resubscribe. If you are a subscriber, you should have gotten an email from me last night with the latest news. Okay, it's got a downloadable Easter free book that I put together for you guys. It's also got the new promos on. There's a whole lot of stuff in there. So if you are a subscriber, you got that email last night. If you're not a subscriber, go over to tmxingadventures.com.au, click the subscribe button, and then that means that it's normally about monthly. I don't spam you. You're not going to get something from me every week. I put them together personally. So if there are spelling mistakes and grammar errors, please forgive me, okay? Because I put them together. Sometimes I get my husband to proofread them. Sometimes I don't have time, and I'd rather just get you the news. It is. I don't go. Nobody else is writing it for me. It is me. So please be gracious with me. But if you didn't get that, go over subscribe so you do get the next one as well. Which won't be for another 3 or 4 weeks, because that's how frequently I do them, and I've got time to do them. But yeah, if I can support you in any way, don't hesitate to reach out. I do love to hear from you and love to know that you're loving and using your Thermomix more. Otherwise, guys, I'm going to keep chopping, get these in the oven. I'll share a photo. Those of you who are familiar, you will know that the photo will come up at 7-ish tonight on Facebook, reminding you of the replay. And those of you on YouTube, it is the beginning and the end image. But otherwise, guys, take care, and I can't wait to see you in the next video soon. So take care. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.